Warning, Hebrews Toys Reviews is not intended for children. It is for adult collectors and people over the age of 18.
Shredder! Why haven't you completed my new body?
Hey everybody, Hebrew77 here, and welcome to yet another day of Turtle Month. Got a case of the gloomy Mondays? Well, don't despair, because today we'll be talking about the brain from Dimension X himself. That's right, Krang the Brain. And I almost always say Krang the Brain, but it is Krang the Brain. Now, Krang the Brain's history is kind of rah-rah-rah, if you know what I mean. Rah-rah-rah, that's a word I just made up. But it goes all the way back to the original comics, actually. And there's a long, drawn-out history I'm sure I could go into, but rather than talk about that history, we just go into the cartoons. Basically, Krang the Brain was the brains of the operation, was the one who gave Shredder all of his armies to take over Earth. He's the one that provided the Foot Clan soldiers. He's the one that supposedly created the mutagen. The mutagen came from Dimension X. And that actually was going to be the whole secret of the ooze, was that it came from an alien source. And back in the day when Michael Bay was first going to make his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, he had mentioned throwing in the alien element. And everyone was like, ah! And he was like, oh. And they were like, ooh. And he was like, ah. So that, of course, all changed when fans voiced their concerns about the whole turning Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into aliens and all this and stuff. But, of course, they didn't know the whole story about it. And I think that's a little bit of a shame, because we could have gotten Krang the Brain back then. But we did get him for the second movie. But it really never was quite explained where he came from or how he came to be, or all the Dimension X stuff was kind of written out. But anyway, today we will explore the 1988 toy, Krang the Brain. So with no further ado, take us to the Krang the Brain review. Here we have our Krang the Brain. I'm doing this in a little different way because my computer's running programs right now and I can't move it out of the way. So the only way to truly do this is to have him here. Now I could set him up on something, or maybe a flashlight. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. But here you go. This is Krang the Brain from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1988 collection. Although we may be going into 1989 here, as this is the original Krang the Brain. I do believe, I don't think this is a duplicate, although I could be wrong. As you can see, he's just basically a brain with arms, eyes, and a mouth, kind of like Mad Balls, if you can imagine. If you remember that the toy Mad Balls, which I have one of them here somewhere. But this Krang the Brain came with this mechanical machine that was almost like a body. In the cartoon series, Krang the Brain was always asking for a body. And apparently that was the only reason why he kept Shredder around. I want you to build me a body, Shredder, he would always say. And so Basically, he was what was to Shredder what Serpentor was to Cobra Commander, and what Hordak was to Skeletor. They all have sort of superiors that they have to answer to, and quite frankly, we kind of could have done without him, but given the backstory of how the ooze came from Dimension X and it was of an alien origins and not created in a lab by Baxter Stockman, which I thought was the original idea in the comic books, does not translate well to the cartoon series when you think about it. So here is Krang the Brain and his mechanical sort of robot or Robotech type machine. Let's put him in there. You can see he just sits in there like so. His arms just kind of hang out the sides here. And if you look real closely, this plastic piece here does have some yellowing on it. I do smoke, so that might have something to do with it, but aging might have a lot to do with it as well. This is very loose. So he has the legs, which the legs are very movable. The arms, however, not so much. In fact, when I tried to pop them on there, they're very difficult to pop on, and they only go up and down. That is their only movement. But the legs, however, have a sort of mechanical movement. They can move up and down. They go all the way up like this, and they can go all the way back. You could sort of make him look like he's in a running motion. I do like this machine. I do have the body. Oh, where the heck is it? Ah, yes. I have this guy who kind of, to me, when I saw the cartoon, is a very funny guy. Here, let's put him back here. Oh, now we get an up close of him. Kind of looks like Baby Huey. Sort of. He has this weird, which I'm assuming is supposed to be an antenna, but it just makes him look silly, like a silly little baby haircut. Like Baby has like that one hair that just sort of sticks out of their bald cap. He's got these cool shades. For some reason he had really sharp teeth. This was, of course, a mechanical body, which makes me think again back to the Foot Clan soldiers that were part robot and part humans. This, however, is more of adds more of a Frankensteinish element to the show, if you will. And I wish I had the little tiny Krang that went in this, because as you can see, this does open up, and there is room in there. I'm sure one was made for him, but this is all I've got. I got this off of eBay, so please excuse me if he's not complete. There's a lot of elements on this guy that we could talk about. He's got the cool 1980s shades, much like the shape of that of Beat Bop. And if you look here, he's got the metallic shoulder pads, which have these straps on them, which kind of remind me of a DMS man, or a Gimp, if you will. Gimpish type man. Also, the design of this particular shoulder pads kind of puts you in mind of Ram Man. Even when you look at the helmet a little bit in comparison, well, he doesn't have a helmet, but the head shape a little bit, it does, the shoulder pads do kind of have that sort of metallic look to them with the straps going on down here. Was not aware they made them in this size, but they do make a bigger one that actually fits this Krang. And as we go on down here, we can see where they sewed up certain elements, almost like as though they sewed up real life flesh. I don't know. I'm guessing, or some kind of silicone type substance. He has what appears to be a yellow or painted yellow sleeves with a yellow and sort of, I guess, greenish belt. The yellow belt goes all the way around, and it's almost like it connects to the rest of his body. He has some kind of metallic cuffs here with wirings sticking out. He's very much robotical. And then red gloves onto his hands. His arms only move up and down, and the hands do move at 360. So going on down here below the waist, you have sort of like a wrestler's, almost even, I would go as far to say, Superman tights over his silicone or flesh or whatever you want to call it. And the legs then have these mechanical parts on them, almost like control pads of some sort. And then you have like the wires going up and some sort of mechanical device there. And you see all these different sewing things, like they were almost trying to indicate that this is a Frankenstein type creature that was made up of several different parts. And that's very apparent in the way that he walked, and, well, he didn't talk, but the way that he walked and his movements. Going here in the back part of the legs, you see very much more metallic computer type components. And then lastly, we have the red shoes. He had red shoes, and these do not look like laces here. These very much look like almost like dial pads. Perhaps they were where you can program the body almost. And what I assume is that once Krang was inside of his gut, he had some controllers and devices inside there that would actually control the body. So there you have it. That's as far as the body goes. And then Krang, of course, we talked about this mechanical suit. And Krang the Brain, what a wonderful character in the cartoon show. He acted as almost like a father figure to Shredder. He was that sort of Cobra Commander-ish type character, as Shredder was sort of almost like the Destro type, I would say, more than he was, Cobra Commander to Destro. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I have to say. I did like Krang the Brain's voice in the cartoon series, and I even liked his appearance in the Michael Bay movie to some extent. So you got Krang the Brain. I'm going to put him on top of Baby Huey here. And then, I don't know if that'll work or not. But that ends it for today's review. I do hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. What more can I say? Take it away, Mr. J. There you have it, folks. I hope that's gotten you over your case of the gloomy Mondays. And tomorrow, since we talked about Krang the Brain today, we'll go back and backtrack a little bit for Tuesday when we talk about none other than Baxter Stockman, the brilliant mind originally behind The Secret of the Ooze. But until then, remember, knowing isn't just half the battle, it's the whole damn war. See you next time.